You're never going to get to the point where you're not sabotaging yourself, at least in some way. Um, I still do it myself. I run two very successful businesses, and the truth is that we all have our own unique brand of self-sabotage. And that's why I teach this work. That's why I continue to do the work that I teach, because it's not something that we just sort of like magically undo. But what happens is that we can become aware of it, right? And then we can catch ourselves and then not do that. So you're never going to be perfect. And I just want to set that up from the beginning, because perfection is actually not the goal at all. The reason that we are talking about these sabotaging behaviors is so that we can recognize them, we can identify the sabotage, and then we can put some sort of pattern interrupter into place so that we can stop doing them, right? We're also talking about this today to help you get really clear about the cost of these self-sabotaging behaviors that you do, right? Today, I want to help you get really, really clear about what this is costing you to not deal with these behaviors. Because again, this is what's stopping you from making the money that you want to make, right? Or it's what's capping you or limiting you from the potential of what's there for you. I just want to tell you that, if this conversation does interest you after this, this is really the work that I do. This is the sweet spot that I love to hang out in inside of this money mentoring. And this is the work that I do. I help people deal with their sabotaging behaviors around money. And I have a whole course and a community focused on that. It's called Money Mastery Academy. If you know that you're sabotaging yourself around money and you want help with that, you can always come and join me inside of, and join our large community of women inside of that Money Mastery Academy. It's my core flagship course that's dedicated to doing that work. So today, that's why we're talking about this. We are talking about common sabotaging behaviors and habits in business. These are the things that I see a lot and that are very common right now inside of the business world. And so when I wanted to have this conversation, I wanted to think about, what are the things that I'm seeing people do right now, right? What are some of the sabotaging behaviors that I keep seeing repeated over and over inside of my online community, inside of Abundance Revolution, things that people are bringing to me inside of the Money Mastery Academy, conversations that I'm having with my individual clients or inside of my women's business mastermind group, the Inner Circle, right? And here's what I want to tell you. It's hard to witness because I want to help everybody with these. And it's painful to see people giving up on their businesses or holding themselves back from making the money that they could be making because they're doing the same things over and over again, and they're not recognizing the behaviors. So self-awareness is absolutely 100% your biggest tool for making money. And here's what I mean about that. Awareness of your blocks, awareness of your behaviors, awareness of your mindset, right? Any of the issues that you might be holding on to that are keeping you from making money. And, the reason why I can say that is because being in business really isn't that hard, right? There are, entrepreneurial efforts are, honestly what make up the majority of the businesses, at least in the United States and actually worldwide as well. And whatever you want to do or achieve right now, you can probably figure it out, right? There have been hundreds of business books written out there, right? If someone has created a course about whatever it is that you want to go do, right? You can use YouTube, you can Google stuff, right? There are so many resources out there that can teach most of us the things that we need to do in order to be able to be successful in a business. But here's what a Google, cannot teach you how to do, or a YouTube video probably can't teach you how to do. It's you deciding to change your mindset, right? If you are not working on your mindset, right? If you're not dealing with the sabotaging behaviors that are going on in the background, then that's going to be the thing that derails you, right? You can have the best process set up, you can have the best strategy set up, but if you don't have the right mindset, if you haven't cleared through some of those sabotaging behaviors, they're going to keep you stuck, right? That's what's going to keep you broke. That's what's going to keep you hitting up against that income plateau, right? Never getting to that next level. That's what's going to keep you from, achieving that next level of rank or leadership or the promotion that you're wanting, right? So let's get into the sabotages, and I'm going to cover, I think I have 4 that I wanted to outline today, but this is just a sampling, and there are more. But I want to give you things that I'm seeing as really common right now inside of our business community, and especially around when it comes to money blocks and self-sabotaging behaviors. So the first thing that I see a lot of in business world is that oftentimes, especially in an online business space, there's a lot of creative people that get attracted into doing entrepreneurial efforts. And what happens is that, people who are in creative or in the entrepreneur world tend to be, creative, right? Like ideas, be interested in concepts, right? And what happens that I'm seeing a lot of is that people just get bored. They get bored inside of their businesses, and they get bored with the marketing, right? They get bored with the consistency. They get super bored with, and so then they feel like they have a valid reason to somehow mess up their business, right? Or to let things go in their business. And so here's how this shows up. It shows up as people not showing up for their business, right? Getting distracted, veering out of their lane, trying to do other things, right? And the problem is that most people get bored before they actually get known for something. And they get bored before they have proof of concept, right? They get bored, and so then they just decide to break things up in their business, right? And they give up before they actually gave their business a chance to survive. You guys, I see this all the time. Inside of my Money Mastery Academy, there was a post recently by a woman who has launched a course, and she spent all of this time creating this course, and she put it out there, and she, maybe made a few posts about it, and 80 people looked at it, and 1 person bought it. And so she thought, oh, this isn't going to work, right? And she started to get bored with it. You guys, there's so many different examples of businesses where the success was because they kept going. Airbnb, Instagram, Pinterest. You guys, go read the backstories of these groups, right? And of these organizations, of these massive companies that we all know. They were not flip the switch and an overnight success, right? They were successful because their founders kept going. They believed in the idea, and they improved it and just kept tweaking it and making it better until it finally clicked, right? Until they became known, right? They didn't get bored and give up, right? It was the consistency in it that actually allowed it to work. Is this resonating, you guys? Let me know. I would love to hear your comments. So people ask me, Alexandra, do you get bored in your business? And how do you stay so consistent? How do you stay so stable, right? And here's the truth, right? I do get bored, right? It's everybody gets bored in their life at points, right? I absolutely get bored, but I don't use it as an excuse to break my business, right? And I acknowledge the boredom. And one of the things that I have done is I have been really, really conscious about my energy and how I manage my energy and how I run my business so I don't get bored inside of it, right? Here's some things that I do. I take breaks. I do things outside of my business that light me up, right? I read books that fire me up. I make sure that I go exercise every day, right? There's things that I do that are habits that are non-self-sabotaging, but are literally habits and patterns that serve me and fill me up. So then when I do come to my work, I come to it filled up. Here's some really common ways that people get bored in their business and things that they do. So listen in and notice that this is you. You stop marketing your business, right? You stop talking about what it is that you're doing. You stop sharing your message, right? You stop offering a program. You get discouraged and you think, you know, I don't want to keep doing this, right? And so they stop doing it. They launch once and then they're like, I'm not going to launch that. I'm going to launch something new now, right? And so they just like constantly moving from shiny object to shiny object. And then there's no consistency in that, and people don't really know what it is that they're doing. Let's see, or sometimes I see that a lot of people who come into sort of the entrepreneurial world are often what I would call like ideas people or multi-passionate, right? And so they're constantly thinking about different things that they could be doing. And so instead of using that creative energy and directing it towards their business and thinking about ways to infuse that business with energy, they then start to look at all the other things that they could be interested in and be like, oh, I'll do that business instead. And then they make that their thing. But here's the deal, you guys. Inside of that is the self-sabotaging behavior, because if you're not actually rooting that behavior out, what's happening is they're just going to get bored with that new thing and then go on to something else. And then they're never giving enough attention and love and care to that business to actually get even that one off the ground. Is that resonating? Does that make sense? The truth is that it's like, it's okay to change. It's okay for things to evolve. But there has to be, and you have to, you know, keep your business full of life in a way that works for you. But if you're, you know, giving up on it, right, because you're just like getting complacent and feeling that boredom, right, that's a choice, right? You're making that choice. So I want to put that out there. So I want to talk about the second self-sabotage, and that's not being consistent. And it's really in tangent to this idea of boredom, right? It's tied to this first sabotage. So let's talk about it. I have a lot of consistency in my business. I'm just going to label some things out here so you guys can hear them. But, you know, I post on social media every day. I send out an email to my list, like a newsletter or, you know, blog type of thing. Pretty much it started as like one time a week. It's generally 2 times a week. Sometimes it's 3 times a week at this point. I do that every single week. Every single month, I tell people about my Money Mastery Academy and the opportunity to join us before our next live coaching call. That is an absolute consistent thing that happens. Every day, then I'm inside of that group and I'm helping people and I'm coaching with them. I'm meeting with my Inner Circle Grow Mastermind of women, right? On, you know, a couple times a month at minimum. And I'm meeting with my private clients every week, right? These are things that are consistent in my business, right? Do I ever feel tired? Do I ever feel distracted? Do I ever want to take a break? Absolutely, right? Because that is normal human behavior. And so, you know, sometimes I get sick of my own voice and I get sick of all the messages that I'm putting out there because I'm saying the same things over and over, you guys. And so how do I deal with that? How do I stay consistent? Right? How do I create that consistency inside of my business? I get really, really conscious of my energy, right? I take consistent breaks. You guys, if you follow me on social media, you'll see that pretty much every 2 months, I've got a vacation that's scheduled, either, you know, something that I'm doing on my own, but almost always with my family, because that's a huge value of mine, is traveling, making memories, doing vacations with my family. So we're always going places, right? You might see us skiing, or a couple Christmases ago, we went to Bora Bora. We're about to go to Italy. We're going to go to the Galapagos. We go places, you know, we go to Maine, right? I just went to Texas for a dear friend's 50th birthday. Like I go and do things. I take breaks that really fill my soul up, right? That's something that I do. It's refueling my tank. I have really tight containers and boundaries, you guys. I exercise daily. It is absolutely 100% a non-negotiable. And I almost always give myself at least 1 hour of time to do that. Sometimes even more, right? I have systems, I have staff, I have processes in place that create leverage, so I'm not overworking, right? For example, I create content in a way that it can go out into multiple streams, right? It can go on and be something that plays on YouTube. It can be inside of my Facebook. It can be content that I can reuse inside of the emails that I'm sending, right? Or that can be a blog post on my website, right? All of this leads me to say that the consistency is a choice, right? Your business is a business, which means it's work, right? And it's going to require work, right? There's nothing that doesn't come without some sort of like reciprocal input and output of energy. That is like the natural cycle of life, you guys. So, determining how you want to do that and how you want to set up your business so that that work can feel in alignment is really, really essential, right? To create that consistency. So the question for you is, what do you need to do to create consistency? What is it that's going to help you keep inspired to keep showing up for your business? Or what are the systems or the processes that you need to have in place that are going to help you create leverage so it's not hard to show up, right? And it becomes less burdensome work and more joyful work that you get to do, right? Rather than having to do, right? Okay, the third sabotage is not focused on income producing activities, right? And I see this all the time, you guys. They're like, you will do all the tasks in the world before getting to the one or two or three things that will actually drive your business forward. There's another analogy that says, right, that 5% of the things that you do in your business actually are the things that are the needle movers, right? They're the income producing activities. So what are those 5% of activities for you that are actually going to make a difference, right? I talk a lot about, generating the actual outcomes that we want, manifesting the things that we really want to have in our life. And to manifest just means to make something real, right? And to make it appear, to have it be physical in reality. And guess what? Selling, sharing, making offers, inviting people to do work with you, marketing, all of these things manifest money. They manifest clients. They manifest customers, right? So focusing on income producing activities is actually what's going to make you money. And so if you've got limiting beliefs or self-sabotaging behaviors that are taking you out of doing the actions that are actually going to drive income, right? That's your self-sabotaging behavior that you're doing in your business that is stopping you from making the money that you want to be making, right? You can make money from telling people what you do, right? You can make money from sharing opportunities to work with you. You can make money from sharing your products and your services, right? You can make money from showing up and consistently doing the marketing activities so that you can become known for what it is that you do, right? It's pretty simple, you guys. Awareness is the superpower here, right? Because awareness is your biggest tool in making money, right? Awareness of your blocks, awareness of your mindset, awareness of the self-sabotaging behaviors, right? Of the issues that you might have around money that are keeping you. Because if you're not showing up to share your services, if you're not showing up to market, if you're not showing up to, consistently talk about what it is that you do and offer it out into the world, guess what? Nobody can do that with you. So what's the reason behind that? Right? What's the money story that you've told yourself? What's the fear that that is leading you to implement that self-sabotaging behavior of not showing up to do those income producing activities, right? That's the work. Okay, I have one more to share, and that's this one, is trying to reinvent the wheel. And I see this all the time, you guys. It's like, I have a huge value around freedom, right? It is a big, big value for me. And it's part of just like my upbringing and like the way that I was raised. And, my parents always joke that when I was a kid, I had a saying, and I would say, me do, before I could really, speak articulately. But I think it's reflective of this value around, freedom. Like, I wanted to do things for myself. I wanted to know how to do things, and I wanted to be independent and, do it my way. Right. And it hasn't changed. Guess what? It hasn't changed. But I don't expend all my energy reinventing the wheel when there are things that really work and have already been proven, right? So it's totally okay for you to use evergreen proven systems that have been around for a long time because they work, right? You don't have to create an app if there's already an app out there that does what it is that you need to do, right? It works to tell people what you do, right? It works to send out emails, right? It works to post on social media, right? It works to, be visible with your message, right? About your products and your services, right? That doesn't mean you have to do all of the things, right? It doesn't mean that you have to do it the way that everybody else does it, right? You can bring your authentic self and your presence to it, right? You get to choose what's right for you, right? Some of you may be like, I love being on TikTok, and others of you are like, oh my God, I'm never going over there. I'm going to play over here on LinkedIn. It doesn't matter, right? One is not right or wrong. Pick the lane that works for you and then go focus your energy and go do that, right? But here's the deal, you guys. So many of you are trying to do things in a new way or like figure it all out, right? Again, business is not that hard. There are courses, there are coaches, there are programs that are already out there that can help you figure that stuff out. Most of those things are buyable, right? If you can purchase them, you can plug that in and it will work inside of your business and help you create leverage and scale or be that much more productive or save you time and angst and energy. Do that, right? Do that. Right? When we try to reinvent everything and do it different every time, that's how we break our businesses, right? And we break ourselves in the process because it becomes exhausting. Okay, my final thoughts here. I just want to say to you guys that it is safe for you to make money. And I say this all the time, but I say it all the time because I mean it and because so many of you still need to hear this, right? It's safe for you to make money. And it's also safe for you to look at the ways that you sabotage yourself, right? It's safe for you to learn and grow. It's safe for you to choose new ways to do things, right? It's safe for you to stop doing those self-sabotaging behaviors because guess what? It might be hard at first, but in the long run, it's going to be a much easier path to success, to making more money, to having more impact, to doing the things that you're set here upon this earth to do if you stop doing those things, right? And of course, I'm here to help you. You can come inside of my Money Mastery Academy. You can join us at any time. And this is where we work on that. That is a dedicated space to working on those money sabotages. So I want to hear the ahas that are going on for you around this. I want to continue this conversation. You can post any other questions inside of the comments. You can send me a message. You can start a chat on social media in your own thread. You can post a picture of this.